Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, back with some more Eternal gameplay. This time we are going to be running a sort of budget version, not completely budget as I do have some of the cards that go in the deck, of Xenan Killers. This was a deck that won the recent Eye of Winter Classic, which was piloted by Smoone, and I will put the link to the actual list in the description below if you'd like to check that out, as my deck isn't quite there. I just don't have all of the cards yet. But this is a mid-rangey deck that seeks to just kill everything the opponent's got and then recur threats of your own. We are running 3 Copper Conduit. The original deck had 4, I believe. This guy has Power Surge, Overwhelm, and Summon. It gets attack and defense equal to the power you spend. Power Surge is an interesting mechanic, which makes you spend all your remaining power when you play a card with Power Surge, so you are going to cast this to maximum effect every time. If you want to cast something else in the turn, you need to cast it before you cast the card with Power Surge. Also, we are running for Dark Return, a 1 power cost card that lets us draw a unit from the void and give it +1/+1, which is relevant in more than one way in this deck, especially with the build that I have been forced to put together here. For Predator's Instinct, again a 1 power card, give a unit Killer, and Killer is you can exhaust a unit 1 time to attack any enemy unit. This gets around things like Aegis, as well as being an efficient removal spell. We're running 2 Suffocate, which is a 1 power card that kills a unit with 3 attack or less. 2 Annihilate, which is a 2 cost card that kills a unit with a single faction. 4 Argenport Instigator, a 2 cost 3/3, that when a unit dies, it deals 1 damage to its owner. That includes our units. If one of our units dies, he will hurt us. 2 Devour, which is a fast spell. Sacrifice a unit to draw 2 cards and get to 2 health. This is useful in a variety of situations. We can sacrifice a creature that's about to die, or if we're blocking or attacking into something that has lifesteal, or a berry effect that when it dies will gain the opponent life and we don't want that to happen, we can sacrifice that unit and do this effect. We're running 3 Friendly Wisps, a 2 cost 1/1 flyer. Its ultimate is, when you play a unit with 5 attack or more, draw 2 cards. The ultimate can only be used once. It is interesting to note, however, that abilities like ultimate, which only have 1 use, if a creature dies and we Dark Return it, it gets that ability use again, as it's seen as a new card. Also running for Vara's Favor, Lifesteal, deal a damage, draw a Shadow Sigil from your deck, so this fixes our mana as well as dealing incidental damage and gaining us incidental life. We're running 1 Amber Acolyte, and this is one of my inclusions in the deck as a concession to not actually having all the proper cards. A 3 cost 2/1 that when it comes into play, we draw a sigil of our choice from our deck. We also run 4 Beastcaller's Amulet, a 3 cost equipment that gives +1 attack, and Infiltrate, play a 5/5 beast. Infiltrate is that the creature does something the first time it damages the enemy player. 2 Dawnwalker, this is one of the cards that is most wanted in the deck. I only have 2 of them, and not enough Fluxstone to craft, as I've been crafting legendaries lately, trying to get those as they're a lot harder to get. But Dawnwalker is a 3 cost 4/1 with Overwhelm. When you play a unit with 5 attack or more, play Dawnwalker from the void exhausted. This is very useful, especially with our kill cards, Predator's Instinct and whatnot, as they get to keep that. Where this is a digital card game, when you add to power and toughness or add abilities onto a card, when it dies, they stay on there, so when they return to play, then they have those abilities still to be used again. Also playing 3 Deathstrike, 4 cost, kill a unit. Very flexible, and it's fast, so we can cast it on our opponent's turn. 4 Impending Doom. Now, the original list only calls for 2 of these. However, I happen to have 4, and there are cards I don't have, so they are filling gaps. A 4-cost 5/5 flyer. At the end of your turn, it deals 1 damage to you. That's kind of negligible for the cost and power and flying on this card. We are also running 3 Twinbrood Sauropod. This is a card that was not in the original list at all. However, again, we are filling in gaps as we can. A 5-cost 5/4 with Echo. So whenever we draw this, we get an additional copy of the card. This is very useful in this build because Dark Return says draw. So even if we return it to our hand from the void, we get an extra Sauropod, which is very nice. We're also running 4 Umbren Reaper. The original list ran 2 of these main deck. In that tournament, they did have sideboards available to them. Even though the client itself doesn't allow sideboards, at least at present, they had the tournament to allow them, so they would just change decks between games and go back in. Anyway, we are running the full 4 of these. And then our resource base is identical to the original list. 6 Shadow, 6 Time Sigils, 2 Amber Monument. These are interesting. There are 1 of these in each color, I believe, maybe more than 1. And it is a resource. When we play it, it's depleted, so we can't use it the turn it's played. However, when we reach 5 power, the transmute 5 there, this is no longer a resource, and instead is a 5-cost 5/5 with Overwhelm. So that helps with Mana Flood. Also, 4 Diplomatic Seals, 4 Seat of Mystery, and 4 Xenan Banner. Well, that is the deck list. Let's do a bit of laddering, shall we? Okay, can we keep this? We've got a banner and 2 Seats of Mystery, so ostensibly all of these are going to not be usable to turn their cast. However, we do have a decent curve, so I'm going to keep it. Hopefully we can draw another resource to be able to play Impending Doom. We're going to start out with the banner, as we could draw a Sigil and have these come into play in a manner that we can use them that turn. Alright, looks like we're up against an aggressive deck, so our slow start is going to be a little unfortunate for us. We're going to play this Seat of Mystery, and then just play out a potential blocker. Would be nice if we didn't have to drop the Copper Conduit as a 1/1, but you do what you must to survive. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell to clear this and start getting their war cry on. Alright, they are playing Rakano, it looks like. And they could have a Finest Hour, but I think it's worth the risk. Both preventing the damage and potentially killing it, and we did, so that's good for us. Okay. Well, it's not hugely important that this comes into play untapped this turn. Well, usable, not untapped. That's a Magic the Gathering term. We'll play out our Wisp and pass the turn. Next turn, we'll be able to play Dawnwalker. Or if we top deck a resource that is usable, we will probably just play Impending Doom. There's a Valkyrie Enforcer going to silence our Wisp. That's a little unfortunate for us. Well, I suppose we just play out Dawnwalker and pass the turn. Alright, can't block that creature. It has flying. Auric Sentry, okay. Another banner. Well, we will play that. Then we're going to do one of the things that the deck kind of revolves around. We'll play our Instigator. I always want to call it Investigator. Then we are going to play Killer on this and have it kill this Valkyrie, dealing a damage to each of us as we each had a unit die. Then we'll end the turn, and next turn we can play Impending Doom, which has 5 attack, and Dawnwalker will return to play. Torch killing our Instigator, so we're going to take another damage there. And no blocks. That guy does have endurance, so it will be able to block on their upcoming turn. I think we're not on the Impending Doom plan this turn because I want to use my mana efficiently, or power, rather. And this guy seems okay. Still will trigger our Dawnwalker. And we will end the turn. We can't use the killer immediately as it does come back in exhausted. And we did go with this also, not only because of the using all of our mana, but because this deals a damage to us at the end of each turn. So do we want to block? I don't think so. Unfortunately, they are getting a lot of war cry, so that may be the death of us this game. Okay, killing our Dawnwalker there. Another Instigator. Well, let's Impending Doom and get our Dawnwalker back. End the turn. Okay, Champion of Glory. They don't have the full threshold requirements for everything yet. And Beastcaller's Amulet is very good here, I think. First of all, we want to kill this, if they will allow it. And it happens. Then we'll play an Amulet here and attack. So that will get us a 5/5 beast, which will get us a Dawnwalker. And I guess we should have played the Argenport Instigator before we combated there, but we'll play it out now, and in the turn, it did prevent us from taking an extra point of damage. Don't know that that is hugely relevant in this game at present. Alright. Well, let's try to kill this dude. Okay. Aegis doesn't protect from battle damage, so that didn't work. And then we will attack with our big things. Don't want to swing in with this guy. If they have a finest hour, then they could kill it. I doubt they do because they didn't use it on the champion, though they might not have understood that Aegis doesn't protect from battle damage. And there's that game. Good deal. Let's see what we get. Some gold and a Combre Magister. Not something I think that I need, but can be converted into Flux Stone, so that's good. And let's get right back in there. Okay, a banner, a monument. Yeah, I think this is keepable. We will go banner into Sigil for the Instigator here, and then we can ramp up with Vara's Favor so that we can hopefully play our Reaper on time. We got Predatory Instinct, so that's nice. Okay, well, Sigil and Instigator. Okay, it looks like the opponent is playing 3 factions here. We'll see how that works out for them. Let's attack. Let it through. Well, we will Vara's Favor one of these dudes. Get ourselves a Shadow Sigil. We want to play the Monument, though, since it is depleted. The next turn, our Shadow Sigil will allow us to Impending Doom. However, it would be nice to get the Wisp out first, so maybe we will do that. Let's attack. They are blocking. Oh, they have a Devour. I was about to ask if they had a Finest Hour to give it +3/+3. The Devour will mitigate some of the damage from the Instigator. We'll play our Seat of Mystery, and then play our Wisp, and pass. Now, perhaps we can get to draw some cards. Assembly line, that bodes well for us. Don't remove my Wisp. Come on, please. Have a heart. Don't kill my Wisp. Ah, they're killing the Instigator. I'm fine with that in these circumstances. We took a damage from our own Instigator there. Well, seems the thing to do is to play an Umbren Reaper and draw some cards. Copper Conduit, Suffocate. That's all pretty useful. Let's go ahead and start doing some damage. We do only get our ultimate once. You can see here now that it is grayed out. However, if this dies and we bring it back, then we can do it all over again. We will not be blocking. Bloodright Callus. What now? Sacrifice. Okay, they're killing our Reaper. What did it? I wanted to read that. Sacrifice all of your units, and it gets +2/+2 for each unit sacrificed. Okay, I mean, that is interesting. Let's play our Copper Conduit, shall we? And end. I do think, in the games that I've played thus far with this deck, that it seems to have a pretty good matchup against aggressive decks. Maybe less so against other mid-range and or controlling decks. Siphon Spike. Okay. +1 attack for each of your units in the void. Well, let's get that off of the opponent, please. Thank you. We'll play a Time Sigil. We'll Vara's Favor to thin out our sigils. And then play Impending Doom and pass. Very healthy life total at present. Alright, Seat of Vengeance. Harsh Rule. Wrath of God, as it were. Diplomatic Seal. I always find it funny that decks with a lot of aggressiveness in them and a lot of units play Harsh Rule. Let's play our Shadow Sigil and pass the turn. Need some of our big stuff now. Smuggler Stash, so they're going to recur some things. Well, that makes a little bit more sense with the Harsh Rule then. Get their Oblivion Spike and their Bloodright Callus. You can see it maintained its stats. Grenadins. Okay. So a Grenadin will come back into play. I'll get its buddy there. We will play our Diplomatic Seal and play out Impending Doom, which is going to die to one of those weapons, more than likely. Should we suffocate one of these? Should we kill her? I think we're going to do that. Go ahead and get some use from this thing before it dies, and it will keep that killer ability even in the void if we are able to recur it. Alright, another Callus. So that will hit here. Unfortunately, they get to keep an armor. So that is still there. And this game here might be slipping out of our hands as well. We can't suffocate this because it is a 5/5. We'll end the turn. Just about any of our big stuff would be nice to draw here. Alright. Very rapidly taking damage. Here's another assembly line. I suspect they've got Rally in this deck. I don't know for sure. Rally is a fast spell that will give all of their units +2/+0. Well, let's Dark Return on the Copper Conduit, I think. And it keeps its stats and gets bigger. Though perhaps we want to kill one of these, get them off the table. Hopefully they can't deal with this guy as a 14/14. Block. Well, it's deadly, so block here. Down to 9. Can you kill it? And you can. You can kill all of your things as well. However, you get to keep your weapon, so that's bad for us. Deathstrike. That's not going to do it. Good game. Let's try to get another win, shall we? Alright, that was a very fast pairing there. Yeah, we can't keep that. Not at all. Okay. This is marginally better, though quite slow. So we want to go banner into seat. That way we have 2 available on turn 2. Our Sauropod there gets its Echo on. Your opening hand does count as being drawn. Dark Return's nice. If we can live to get these things going, we might be in pretty decent shape here. Okay, Vara's Favor. Looks like we're up against a Found deck. Alright, Seat. And we will favor ourselves. Amber Acolyte will help us maintain our power drops as the turns progress here. The question is, what type of Feln deck are there? There is a semi-combo Feln deck that uses infiltrate cards that do things when they hit you, with Haunting Scream so that they come back and have charge and flight to maybe get in a little bit better. And then there are just straight control versions. We'll go ahead and get a time. Alright, opponent is doing nothing, which is, you know, okay for us. At least we're not under pressure. Then we'll play our Wisp and hold up Devour here. Looks like they've got a fast spell in hand, as it hasn't gone to their turn yet. Okay. Suffocate. Well, let's eat it. Gain some life, draw some cards. Make it be of some use. And it looks like they are the control version. The Feln Bloodcaster is generally in those. Alright, I think that our play here is the Sauropod. And pass. Levitate, okay. Flying for the turn, and then draw a card. And they have a Reaper. Interesting. Okay, so let's play our Sigil. We're going to Vara's Favor that guy. It will gain them some life and cost us some life. Yeah, that's fine. And then we are going to give our Sauropod Killer. have it eat this thing before they get to the 7 mana to pay for its ultimate, and we'll attack for 2. And I feel like we're in okay shape. Do we have anything we want to Dark Return? Yes. We're going to get our Wisp back and pass the turn. We should have the power next turn to play it into either one of these 5 power creatures and draw a couple of cards. We're going to start, though, by attacking. Okay, then we'll play our Sigil, play our Wisp, and play our Reaper. Draw 2 cards, and pass the turn. Alright, feeding time. I'm going to turn that into a pig and kill it. And it's going to stay a pig forever now. At least forever as far as this game's concerned. Umbren Reaper. Might have been better to have pigged the Umbren Reaper, I think. That way they wouldn't have lost the 5 life and had us gain 5. However, we do have a Sauropod available, so we're kind of okay with that. Lots of kill cards in hand. Don't know if that's going to do the trick, though, as we are up against a very controlling deck. Okay. We'll play our Seal and attack for 5. Good deal, it gets in. We have a 2-turn clock here now, if everything stays as is. Celestial Omen, draw a card of your... so it's a tutor. I did not realize that was a fast spell. That is interesting. What are you tutoring for? Vara, Fate Touch. Alright, Deadly. When you play a shadow unit, play a shadow unit from the void, okay. Well, we need to kill her. And kill him. That does slow us down some, but it was a necessity. Reset them back up to 14. Dark Return's a good draw here, I think. Let's attack first. Then we will Dark Return our Reaper, and it gets a little bit bigger. We're not going to play this Sigil, or Seal rather, we'll hold it. And they concede. All right. Well, I think that is going to be it for this episode of Laddering in Eternal. I hope this gave you some idea of what this deck is trying to do. Again, I will link to the original deck list in the description below, as well as including a deck list for what I actually played. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a like below. It really does help tremendously. And hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos from me in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.